everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and today is part 2 of my most fun games in my library. And ultimately it's going to be 20 games that we play that I absolutely adore. The games are simple, they're not complex at all, which is one thing that I like. And I like games that look good on the table while we're playing them. So you're going to see games in this video that are simple complexity, that look good on the table while you're playing them, and games that hit that right level of fun for me that I wanted to tell you about them, because I have 250 board games in my library, but these are the ones I like the most, that when I think about playing them, I just get excited. And so I want to show 10 more of those games to you today. I hope you enjoy this video. Here they come. Okay, so this is the first game I'm going to talk about, and the name of this game is Ory Calcom. It's by Bruno Cathala and Johannes Guppy, some wonderful designers, and Pandasaurus Games. This came out in 2022, and it actually tied for, as far as I was concerned, for Game of the Year with Merchants of the Dark Road, because I love them both so much. And yeah, let's take a look inside this box. And this is a racing game. The first person to 5 points wins the game, but you also have to have any creatures on your board captured. So there's a couple of win conditions there. But this game was just fantastic to me because, I mean, for the price point, it was like $42. You know, it comes with bags for the creatures, and I'll show you what's in the creatures look like. And I mean, they're just standees. This is what the creatures look like, and they simply have a health value on them that you're going to have to tie or exceed in order to capture that creature. And you can't have any creatures on your board or you can't win the game even if you have 5 points. And then you get the reward that's on them. There's 12, and you get to steal a Titan, and 10 on that creature, and if you capture him, you get 3 Ory Calcom, and stuff like that. So those are going to populate your board through your own selection, because it's an action selection game, and you're going to choose a card off a market board that has a terrain tile on it, and you're going to take that terrain tile and place it on your board, and it happens to be a volcano, then you have to spawn a creature on it and you put it on the board. So and then these are building tiles that when you do a construct, there's a construct board where you're going to be able to build a temple or buy a coin, an Ory Calcom coin, and both of those are worth 1 point. And then these are just special benefits. When you do a construct, you can choose to take this off the board, and you have to put it on one of the 4 types of terrain where you took it off that construct board. So that's something you have to think about when you're taking these. And that weighs in a lot on your decision, because I had to change my mind a few times on taking one of those benefits that I wanted because it had to go on a certain terrain. So yeah, these are some of the terrain tiles you get. There's 3 different types. There's singles, doubles, and triples. Those are the triples. These are the temple tiles. Once you do a construct action, you have to have 4 different types of terrain in this particular shape right here. Then you lay that temple tile on top of it, and then you take one of these coins, and that's the temple side, and you put that on your board, and it shows that you've got 1 point. And then the other side, of course, is the coin itself. It's worth 1 point. There's the singles. And then you have 4 titans that are 1 for each type of terrain, and each titan gives you a special benefit that you can use when you take that particular action. But these things are so cool, man. I love the art on them. Wow, these things are really nice. Check that out. You can use it to activate your Ory Calcom mines twice. So that's pretty nice. This activates your hoplite training camps twice. This will do you a construct, gives you an extra construct, and this will defeat a monster instantly, or defeat a creature. They're called creatures, and you would defeat or capture one instantly. And once you use that benefit, you have to turn it over. Now, it's still worth 1 point on your board, and then to reactivate it, you have to put 3 of the same type of terrain tiles together to make that happen. So, yeah, there's a little bit to this game. I mean, it's an easy game. It's probably why I like it. This game is by Bruno Cathala, and I like it every bit as much as I like Abyss. And it's the same complexity level, and I think that's why I like it so much. And there's your double terrain tiles, you know, different types of terrain. There's 4 kinds. There's sea and mountains and forests and desert, and then there's volcanoes. You can see the volcanoes, that's those. So those are the wooden hoplites that you're going to use. And these are Atlanteans. You know, this whole theme is Atlanteans, but this is the first player marker. And whoever has the most hoplites in their supply will be first player, and the one that isn't first player gets an extra hoplite because they're obviously lower on hoplites than everybody else. Then you get these 4 beautifully engraved, sculpted dice when you're going to roll and capture creatures. And when you see that skull, when you roll that, that's an instant win for the person rolling the dice. And you get starter tiles. These are the Ory Calcom pieces. They look like pieces of gold. Then you get this big metal coin that comes in the box. That's pretty sweet. Does nothing, but I mean, for 42 bucks, this is pretty awesome. Then you have your action selection deck that will go on this market board right here. Yeah, so you can see where you put your cards right here, and then you have an action card in each one of those slots, and that's the cost. These down here are on the left are free. These 2 on the left, you want to take those, they're free. And then you have to select that action card, and they look like this. This got a single disc tile on it, and then that's the action, that's a construct that you're going to take. It's mandatory to take one of these cards off the board, and you have to place your tile and do that action if you want to. But of course you want to if you want to win this game. You have to be super efficient, uber efficient, because again, 5 points is what you're trying to get to. And then this is the construct board I told you about, and it has cutouts here. Your big coins that I showed you go right here, and it costs you 5 Ory Calcom to buy one of those coins if you have a construct action. And it shows you how you have to have 4 different types of terrain in order to put down a temple tile over top of those, and that's a point. And it tells you also that you can use a volcano as a wild. And then the building tiles I showed you are going to go on here, but when you select one of those benefit tiles to put it on your board, it has to go on that terrain. So that's a hard decision too, because you might be building up for 3 of a kind of a terrain to attract a Titan, or you may be building up 4 different terrain types to get a temple built. So where you put those becomes a pretty tough decision, but I love that. And then you get 4 player boards in here. They're double-sided. I love that. And there's one of them. That's my guy I used. They're double-sided. If you put them on side 1, I think everybody has the same side 1 map. And then when you put it on side 2, all the maps will be different. And then this is the map that you're building on. And of course, you have to start on these ports where you see these arrows. And that's where you put your starting tile, and you get to choose where to do that at, and then you build out from there. And then on this side over here, you got 3 different types of storage places, one for hoplites, one for Ory Calcom, and one for creatures that you've captured. And if you spend 2 hoplites, you can do one of these 3 actions in addition to what you did on your turn. And then if you spend 2 Ory Calcom, you can do these actions, and if you spend 2 creatures, you can do these 4 actions. So that's pretty nice, because you have to utilize that in order to win this game, because it's tight. I mean, generally speaking, you will win by 1 point. Best get the guy here. He's all right. So yeah, that's Ory Calcom. I love this game. It's one of my favorite games in our library. We just finished playing it twice. It's Lori's birthday today. I made her play it on her birthday because it's one of my favorite games, and she beat me twice, so I'm not speaking to her. But yeah, so anyways, that is Ory Calcom. I love this game. It's so much fun, and the price point is amazing, like 42 bucks, something like that. Oh gosh, I love this game. It's one of my favorite games in 2022, Ory Calcom. Yay! All right. Okay, the next game I want to talk about is a game that I've had for quite a while called Tang Garden. And Tang Garden is a beautiful game about doing that. You're building a garden, and it's so zen. I love this game so much for its toy factor, I guess is the way I would describe it, because you do so much in this game to build a Zen garden type of thing, and you have all these beautiful decorations you're going to put on the board, and then all these beautiful tiles. They're like, gives the board a 3D effect, and these are your 12 character miniatures that you're going to use, and each one of them has a character card that has a special benefit or power that you're going to use, and those are your coins, because money, whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins, and that's pretty cool. Then of course you've got bridges, you've got pagodas, five different kinds of trees, and some fish and bird tokens, and a couple of flowers, a lotus and a peony flowers. And that's pretty cool, because this really begins to get beautiful as you build this thing up. And this is what the box looks inside. I adore this game. again, just because it's so beautiful when you're done. As you're building it, it's so much fun. This is the board you start out with. Of course, it doesn't look like much now, but you can see these slots where you'll put those landscape tiles standing up in, and they have icons on them of various types, and depending on where you put your characters on the board, their line of sight, when they look at this side of the board, whichever of those icons they need to see, you're going to score for those characters. And then on the corners of the board is where all the tiles go of different types. You know, there's a stack on each corner, and you'll be drawing tiles off of those. And these are all the tiles that you're going to use in the game. And there's a certain way to do it. I mean, there's some good decision space in this game. If you match up these sidewalks, they're called. Is that what they're called, sidewalks? Pathways or something, these stone pathways. So you get $1 for matching up those stone pathways like that. And then whenever you have a finished terrain, you get to move up on your player board. And these colors right here, you would move up. You have cubes in here, and you're going to move up on these tracks. You start out with one character, and then once you get all 3 cubes up to here, you get to take a second character. And when you do that, you have to place one of those characters, the one you already had or the one you're taking at that time, onto the board. So you have to plan ahead for that. Depending on what that character needs to score on the board, you're going to decide which one of those 2 characters you're going to put on the board. And then, of course, you get a third one and then a fourth one character, and that's all you get from the game. So you have to plan on that. And when you get your cubes into this row, every time you get a cube into this row, you get an extra 2 coins. That's pretty cool. And if you can get them all the way to the end, which I did, I got 2 of mine in the last game, all the way to the end, you get 5 coins, which is your points. You know, that's how you win this game. And then this is where you put your tokens that give you special benefits. And once you use it, you have to turn it over. It's a one-time deal. But depending, if you have picked up some landscape tokens off the board, you can trade 4 of those in to flip one of those benefit tokens back over and use it again. And that's always something you want to try to do. Yeah, I mean, this game is absolutely beautiful. Really nice looking pavilions that you're going to put in there. And it gives you a space to put your character, and you want to put him in there so he's facing the proper direction to score points for you. And then all the trees that are going to populate the board. These are the wonderful little bridges that are going on the board, and they have a space. You can see them on there. That space means you can put a character on there. And man, this game is so fantastic. Every time Lori and I play it, I'm in love with it, and it reminds me how much I love this game. And there's your decoration cards down in there. These are your character cards I told you about. Each character has a special benefit while you're using it. But once you place that on the board, this guy, that benefit goes away. It tells you, gives you an eyeball right there and tells you what he has to see in order to score at the end of the game. So that's really, really cool. I love this game. And once you're all done playing it, you just want to leave it set up for a little while so you can look at it, because it's fantastic looking when you're done. And Lori and I just played it the other day, and I think she beat me again. She's been beating me a lot lately.
You beat me twice in that game.
I beat you twice in this game?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I feel a little better then about getting my butt kicked today. Ory Calcom. But that's Tang Garden, you guys. Golly sakes. Such a beautiful game. And that has something to do with it for me. And that's Tang Garden. Okay, the next game I want to talk about that I really, really love playing, that I have a great time playing, is Dice Throne. This is Season 1 re-rolled. Now, there's Season 2, I think. And I think there's a Marvel Dice Throne also, which I have no interest in because I don't really care for Marvel. But I love this game. It's so easy to play. It's so easy breezy. Dice chucking 1v1 battler. And I have to talk Lori into playing this with me because she's not a real fighting game fan, but we have a good time doing this one because it's Yahtzee style, and you're involved the whole time because you can roll dice to defend also when someone's attacking you, and it's so cool. And one thing I love, and I always say I support publishers that do this, is you can get these pre-painted miniatures for the game, all ready to go. They're gorgeous. I mean, they're gorgeous. I love them. Look at these guys. The Paladin's my favorite, that dude. Yeah, he's awesome. Check these guys out. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's worth the price of admission right there. I love this game, and I get these miniatures out and set them on my board, even though they don't do anything. I don't care. I put them on my player board, my player mat, and they're fun to look at. And then I also picked up the Santa versus Krampus. And this is really cool too. I've got the Santa versus Krampus miniatures. I'll show you there in a second. I love all of this. Yeah, there's some foil cards in there. I love this game. And there's Krampus. And here's the way every one of these work, you guys. I'm trying to get that off so it reduces the glare. But this game, you just simply, to play it, you're going to take out this board out of this game trays and lay it on the table, and boom, you're playing. You've got everything in your tray right there. You got an FAQ sheet, frequently asked questions, a rule clarification, stuff like that on there. I love that. Thank you very much to the publisher for that. Then you'll have a turn order card. You'll have health dials, combat points, and your health. You got dials for both of those. And there's Krampus's standee if you want to use that. And then we also got these cards sleeved with Krampus. And then what you're doing in this game is rolling dice, and you're trying to upgrade these basic rolls right here. You can see how this works. So it says right here, if you roll 4 of a kind, it's called spoils, you gain a gift, draw 1 reject, inflict 2 coal, and deal 9 damage. So that if you roll 4 of a kind, that's a pretty hefty move right there. And there's a large straight. This is defense rolls 3. So you're rolling for defense too. And that's pretty cool. And then the worst, every character has a 5 of a kind, and it's unblockable damage that they can do to you. Deal 10 damage, it's unblockable. And so that kind of stuff goes on in this game. I just love this game. It's so much fun. Everything about it is beautiful. And look at these gorgeous dice that Krampus has. I mean, this means something to me. I mean, I wish I could say it didn't. I love these engraved dice that come with every character in Dice Throne universe. And then tokens, effect tokens that are going to put different effects on your opponent, which is really, really cool. I love that, man. Here's some more. Here's another foil card. Yeah, Krampus. Mythic Krampus. Active ability, flip ability. I mean, I just love this game. Every time we play it, I have a good time. And I will admit, it's an easy game to play and pick up and play and learn. And that has a lot to do with why I enjoy it so much. Well, that's pretty cool. See the inside of the box lid there? That's pretty sweet. Oh, I said I'd show you the minis, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Those look pretty cool. They're well done, well painted miniatures, worth every bit that you pay for them. I mean, I'll pay for things that are nicely done. Those are nicely done. Everything in this Dice Throne game is nicely published, and I enjoy the heck out of playing it. I don't know. I love chucking dice to begin with, and because of that, I think is why I love this game so much. And it's pretty sweet the way these boxes are laid out. And of course, you got 8 characters in this set. And it shows you which characters you have right here. The Barbarian, the Moon Elf, the Pyromancer, the Shadow Thief, the Monk, the Paladin, the Ninja, and the Trent. And you saw all those minis in that box. And so we get them out and say which character you want to play. We'll pop that guy out and we'll set him up on the table and get to rolling and look at, roll his beautiful dice. All right, yeah. So there you go. He's got his beautiful dice. And but I like it because we can get this box out and grab a character, and we can be playing this game in virtually 5 minutes. And there's something to be said for that. I love that. If you're like me and you want to get a game out and play it and just get it moving right now, Dice Throne would be perfect for you like it is for me. I've enjoyed this game so much, and that's called Dice Throne Season 1 Rerolled. So I absolutely love that. Okay, the next game I'm going to talk about is Ra. Ra from 25th Century Games. It was a reprint of an old game. I'm going to guess. Ra 2003. I'm as old. But the 25th Century Games did a reprint of it. And man, I tell you, this is called the Pharaoh Edition. I love it. You get these big chunky wooden pieces that you're going to use. 1999 it came out. Wow, this is an old game, but listen to those super. I mean, this thing. That thing weighs 2 or 3 pounds. These metal tablets, so Egyptian, so cool. Yeah, I love this game. You know, it's got a player board that's going to tell you everything you're trying to do to get your set collection game going, because that's what you're doing in Ra. Bidding and set collecting. And it's so much fun to do that. All these different tiles, they're so beautiful. And again, your player board is going to tell you exactly what you have to collect to make things happen. And you get this big, big bag of tiles. You know, it's loaded with these beautiful tiles that you're going to bid on and collect. Yeah, and put against your player board. Let's see. These are your bidding tiles, and there's so much that goes into this little bidding game. I mean, it's so cool, and there's so much thought that goes into this game when you're playing it that it's just unbelievable how much fun it is. And this is one of your player boards, and it tells you exactly how to score what you're looking for and how to score those tiles. And it's pretty neat. And then you collect your bidding tokens right there that you're going to use for the round. So cool, you guys. Laura and I love playing this game. And again, these are games that I absolutely love. I'm not going to sit here and say that they would be Lori's favorite. These are my favorite. And it has to do with so much more than the complexity of the game. I'm not a person that plays real complex games. I'm just not that guy. I like games that are pretty and have a nice toy factor. I'm that guy. And I want the games to have a certain amount of complexity, and I want them to work mechanically sound and be very smooth. And Ra is. And it does all of that. And this is Reiner Knizia. Come on. That's what it looks like on the table. When you're playing, you can see how you're lining up those tiles that you're bidding off. And this is the bidding board and a boat that moves on that track right there. I mean, this Pharaoh edition is so fantastic. I bought it off of Matt up at the Haven Game Store here in Castleberry. And he had it in his shop, and I said, "Gimme, Dad, it's going home with me." And that's Ra Pharaoh Edition from 25th century games. All right, the next game I'm going to talk about is another Reiner Knizia game that I love playing. It's Reiner Knizia and Martino Chiachiera. Those are the designers of this game. It's called Witchstone. And this is just a couple years old. It's not that old, maybe 4 years. And I love playing Witchstone. It's a Euro game, folks, with just an attractive theme to it. I love my Euro games, but they can be pretty dry. I mean,
21.
Yeah, 2021. Mm-hmm. So it's 3 years old. Yeah, but they can be pretty dry. So I appreciate it when Euro game designers and publishers put out Euro games with a nice theme to them. And this one is absolutely fantastic. I adore it. It's called Witchstone, and it is a beautifully published game. I'll show you what it looks like. I mean, the board is gorgeous. And if you haven't played this game, it's about recharging, all the witches getting together once every 100 years, and they have to recharge this crystal ball thing. That's the theme of the game, which is okay with me. I mean, it's pretty cool. But, yeah, I'm having some trouble, but I want to show you this board. You know, it's a pain in the butt, but there you go. Yeah, this board's absolutely gorgeous. And you got different areas of the board where you're going to take actions, of course. There's a pentagram up here where you're going to move. You have an owl creature that's going to move around this pentagram, and you have a stack of tiles in the middle, and these tiles will be populated around this pentagram, and as you're moving around them, you take those tiles and just refill from that stack. And then this is the vial cabinet. And all these vials, depending on where you come out of your cauldron, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute, you get to take one of these actions and put your marker in this vial cabinet. And then in the crystal ball itself, you'll be laying down these energy tokens that you're going to put on these trails and build to these different cities and take witch actions is what allows you to do that in here. But you have to make routes to get from city to city with your witches. And then over here you have prophecy cards, I think they're called, a deck of them. It sits right up here, and you're going to keep them prophecy cards on here. There's some that are instant benefits and some that are end game scoring benefits, which are pretty cool. And at the bottom of the board, it has a magic wand, and you have an owl token also here that's going to move up this magic wand. And as you take those actions, the wand actions, you're going to go up here, and whoever's in the lead, once you land on these dark brown spaces, you get double whatever is on that space. So it's a battle to stay in the lead on this magic wand. And then, of course, it's got this book here that tells you how you score your energy in the crystal ball. I love this game, but that is nothing. Wait till I show you what you're really doing in this game that makes it so cool. And that is this cauldron. Every player has a cauldron. And in this cauldron, and you can see these stacks of double hex tokens in player colors, and you have a whole stack of those. And this is the yellow player, and you're going to take these and start putting them one at a time on your turn on this board, and you're trying to get them to match up. This is Reiner Knizia, and he designed a game called Ingenious, and this is the way Ingenious works if you've ever done that. So if I placed that token right there, I would take that action twice and that action once. Then on my next turn, if I put that token there, I would take the energy action 3 times and the wand action 1 time. And you're trying to daisy chain those together. In addition to that, on each one of these spaces, you can see that are kind of different. You're going to have crystals on those. And if you take the crystal action, you're trying to move those crystals over these tokens to the outside of this cauldron. And if you come out on this space, for instance, you'll do the wand action. If you come out on this space with your crystal, you'll do the pentagram action. And then you take that crystal and put it in the vial cabinet and take that up. It's so cool. And then you got some of these tokens that you can get that put on in your cauldron. So that's pretty cool. And how that works is if you can put one of these tokens in your cauldron, it's got 2 different icons on it. So if you happen to play a pentagram, or I play this crystal tile next to this token, I'd get 2 crystals like that. Or if I was over here like that, I'd get 3 crystals. And that's pretty sweet. And you're trying to build these up. And then if you put another crystal token here, one of the doubles that has a crystal on it, you take that action 4 times. It's really cool. Again, I enjoy it. I love the theme of it. I love that they bothered to give it a theme that was interesting and fun, like magic. I enjoy that stuff. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Witchstone, a game by Reiner Knizia and Martino Chiachira. I think that's how you say his name. Published by R&R Games and Hutch Games, and it's so much fun to play. That's Witchstone. All right, the next game I'm going to talk about it doesn't need much introduction, and it doesn't need me to speak about it very much at all, and that's Dune Imperium. And it's a wonderful IP game. I love it ever since it came out. Laura and I love playing this game. Worker placement, I think it's first to 10 points wins the game, or at least triggers the end of the game. But it's so much fun, and I'm not interested at all in Dune Uprising. I love Dune Imperium. I loved it before Dune Uprising ever came out. It's not going to change my opinion of this game. I love it with all its shortcomings. I love Dune Imperium. I love playing it. I'm not going to give it up just because they came out with some new version that's supposed to be better. I'm not falling for that. I'm going to hang on to my Dune Imperium copy. And I mean, I've sleeved everything in dragon sleeves. All the cards. It has a deck building element to it, worker placement, and yeah, I sleeved everything in this game with good sleeves too. This game is going nowhere. I will have this game forever as long as I'm playing board games. I'm going to have Dune Imperium in my library. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys Dune Imperium. These are games that these games are all pretty light. They're pretty light and breezy games to play. I probably avoid games that have more complexity than I'm looking for. Voidfall would be one that came out this year. I'm just not interested in working that hard intellectually. I'm just not. It tires me out. I don't have fun. I have no doubt the game's good. I'm a light game guy. I don't like things that are real deep and involved because I can't wrap my head around them most of the time. But Dune Imperium, yeah, it came out and it took the world by storm. It was one of the most popular games around. You know, I love the Dune IP. Lori and I read those books back in junior high school and couldn't wait. I mean, there was a movie in the 80s, and I think there was a TV miniseries that was pretty good. We just went to see the second part of Dune and enjoyed that very much, enjoyed the first one very much, and we love this board game, Dune Imperium. And there is a new Dune that's out right now called Dune War of Arrakis. I've watched it, played. I'm not interested in that game, but this one is fabulous. Yes, Dune Imperium. All right, the next game I'm going to talk about is a game that came out a few years ago called Ascension Tactics. Now, if you've played Ascension, the deck building game, it uses that mechanic in this game and turned into a board game. Much like Tang Catacombs is a deck builder with a board or with the tiles that you're laying out. So you're doing a dungeon crawl through the catacombs. Same thing here. You're using a deck builder to control figures that you're going to have on a hex map. I played this at a convention at a booth. And after Laura and I played it, I said, let's get that. I really like it. And this is the rule book. It's well done. You will know how to play it. Again, if you played Ascension, you're going to be able to play Ascension Tactics very quickly. And one of the things I love about it is this scenario book. I love this. You have different scenarios in here that changes the rules of the game, and you're going to lay out the hex map in different ways, different forms, and do different things on that. And I really, really like that they offered that. Just love this game, and it has a standalone expansion coming out this year, I believe, called Ascension Tactics Inferno. So I'm looking forward to that coming out. And then this game also, there is a miniatures version that has a bunch of gray plastic with it. I was so thankful that I didn't have to buy that to get this game. It has standees for the characters, and I appreciate that from the publisher so much. If you watch this channel, I'm just not a plastics guy. So I would love if they would make the miniatures acrylic in this game. It would have been so much better, but I'm not going to complain because at least I didn't have to buy a bunch of gray plastic. So yeah, there's the board that you're going to be moving around. And then again, when you're doing your deck building, the wonderful thing about this is it's an area control game. So when you are surrounding something and trying to score your points, because you got more of your people around that temple or whatever it is on the board, then once you're done scoring, it's your opponent's turn, and they may come in there and defeat your character, one of your characters that's around that area. And so that character, you simply take that character, put it back on the card in front of you, and after one more turn, you can put that character back out onto the grid again and just go to work with that character again. They don't get beaten and tossed out of the game like most games. This game, you just keep going back and forth, and I love it. Look at all the cards you get in this game. I love it. This wonderfully published game. And of course, you're earning honor. If you haven't played Ascension, you have and each one of those scenarios has a certain amount of honor that you have to earn in order to win the game. And honor comes in ones, which are the white ones, and either threes or fives, I can't remember, are the red ones. But a certain number of honor is points that you're going to earn, and that's how you're going to decide who wins the game. You get a whole bunch of stands. They're pretty cool. Oh, I just love this game. I played it one time and turned to Lori and said, I'm getting that game. I really, really love it. And these are all the token stock and the hexes that go on the board. The only complaint I had, again, was the monsters and characters. They're all square standees. I mean, that's okay. I like it better than gray plastic, but I wish they had done something different. I mean, the art on them and stuff is really cool, but I wish they had done, maybe some acrylic standees that were clear. It would look fantastic. And I'm sure that would drive the price of the game up and or the size of the box. But I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing about this game, the way they did the standees. But I'd rather have standees than the gray plastic. So, okay, I'm not going to complain. Then, of course, if you've played Ascension at all, you know who the cultists are. But these are little helpers that you can put on the board to help out your heroes. Go around the board, and then these are all the hex tiles that you're going to populate the board with. And you have different these are portals. So you're going to put a portal depending on your player color, and that's where you're going to spawn your people, your heroes. And so that's pretty cool. I love this game. I love playing it. I enjoy it very much. It's not one of Lori's favorite games. I have to talk her into playing this with me, but she does it. So I appreciate that very much, that she'll play this with me, because it's not her favorite game in the world, but I play stuff with her that I don't care for. And the cards, again, did I show you any of the cards? What do we got here? Yeah, let's look at some of these cards. Yeah, the Fly Trap Witch. That's a champion, so that's one of the champions there. Villain champion, Fairy Commander, Icarus Steelfoot, villain champion. Tyrannix, Reactor Monk, Naka Blackblade. Some cool cards in here. And I like the art in this game. It's kind of simplistic, but it's good enough to get you that feeling of adventure and exploration that you're going to have in this game. I love it very much. And, oh man, just so many cards in this game that are so cool. You have your constructs that you can build. Just so much to do in this game when you're deck building and playing this game. But yeah, I love it. And we've got dividers in here. Everything. When we bought the game, they gave us. Oh, these are double-sided. Okay, but some of the cards. Let's see. So, yes, when we bought this game, they gave us sleeves with Ascension Tactics on them. So that was pretty nice. Yeah, so we enjoyed that very much. Enlightened Champions. What do we got? Lifebound Champions. Void Champions. These are so cool because you want to get a synergy going between all these cards, all the cards that you're going to take from the market, and try and get your strategy going as best as you can to win the game. So, hey, that is Ascension Tactics. I love it so much, and I hope you get the opportunity to play it. If you haven't played it, it's an easy game, and that's right up my alley. The next game I'm going to talk about is a game that came out a couple of years ago called Renature by Kramer and Kiesling, two of my favorite designers in the world. It's by Capstone Games, Deep Print Games, Simply Complex Games. Why this game isn't more popular, I have no idea, because it's fantastic. And you're simply taking a polluted area and trying to reimagine it with new animals and trees and making it better. And isn't that a good thought process in today's world? But it's an area control game also. And it has a little bit of interaction. So some people may not like that, because once you are placing your color trees and bushes and shrubs or whatever they are out here on the board, you also have the ability to have some neutral type of trees and shrubs to place in those areas to hurt your opponent, take their scoring down a little bit. It's a dominoes game. It's a domino laying game. If you haven't played this game, oh man, you need to play this game. If you like playing dominoes, which I do, and I love the mechanic in this game, you're going to lay out dominoes on these green paths, and they have, of course, match up. And these are the characters or the animals that are in the game on the dominoes. And you have a green token on this track, and wherever that token's at, that's the animal that's wild, so that you can place that against anything on the board. And it's got a scoring track on the outside. And then we'll have we'll have pictures up, but this is what you're getting in the box. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so wonderful. And you have all these trees and shrubs and what was the other tree? The trees. You got the big trees, little medium trees, and some bushes. I think they're bushes, and then the very tiny ones are called maybe shrubs, those little ones right there. So that's pretty cool. And you have them in all 4 different player colors, and then you get all these dominoes. I don't remember how many dominoes there are in this, but when you're playing 2-player, you each get 26 of them, and they're beautiful. These big, beautiful wooden dominoes are so gorgeous. That's, they're printed on one side and blank on the other, so that people can't see what you have in your hand. And you have 3 of them in your hand, and you're going to play one to the board and try and surround those areas that I showed you that are in brown, and there will be a point token in that area. If you lay a domino and close that area up, you get that bonus. And then you're going to place your bushes and shrubs and trees and all that stuff in those areas, and those will score at the end of the game according to who has the most points in there. So much fun. This game should have been a huge hit. It was not, but it was a huge hit with me, and I love playing it again because it's easy. It's a domino game. I love playing it. Lori and I get this out and play it, and it's so much fun. Again, there's a little bit of interaction in it. If that bothers you, it probably wouldn't be for you, but because you're going to have to, and you will, put a neutral, because you are in control of so many of your own color of shrubs and bushes, and then you're going to be in control of some neutral ones, and you can nullify the points that your opponent is scoring in an area by placing a neutral one in there. And you might not even have anything in there of your own color, but you're going to put a neutral one in there to knock them down to second place behind the neutral colors that are in that area, so they won't get first place points. So stuff like that you're going to think about when you're playing Renature. I love this game so much. It's easy, and you can play it in 45 minutes. And there's so nice thinking and a nice decision space in this game. I adore it. That's Renature by Kramer and Kiesling, 2 of the best board game designers in the business right now. All right, Renature. All right, the next game I'm going to talk about that I love so much to play is Legendary, a James Bond deck building game. Yes, I like deck builders. I guess I've shown you a couple already, and it's no secret that that's a fun Euro game mechanic. I love building a strong deck, and in this game, that's exactly what you're doing, but you're doing it in a James Bond universe, and for me, that is so nostalgic. This guy, James Bond, was courageous. He had charisma. He was just so intelligent and smart and brave. And I loved watching the movies and reading the books. When I was a kid growing up in the 60s, we would steal the books from my friend's dad and go out and read them. We loved those books. Okay, this Legendary Edition comes with this rule book, and I've got directions here for an expansion that came with it. So I have 4, 5, 6 movies in here. The base game comes with 4 movies, and then I bought an expansion that has 2 more movies in it. I think the new ones were License to Kill and On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which George Lazenby. And that's what I mean about taking you back. I just love all these cards. Oil Slick, that's a card from Goldfinger. Felix Leiter, Allies. That's one of the Allies. That's pretty cool. But all these picks from the movies just take me back. Look at that. Shredder on James Bond's car. That's so cool, that tire shredder. It's pretty neat. I remember all of that. Duck snorkel. It's pretty funny. He was swimming in the water with it, snorkeling, and it had a duck on his head. I mean, just stuff that was so cool. Yeah, oh man, I tell you, I love this so much. I love the James Bond universe. Again, I read the books, and it has all the hot babes from the movies on these cards, and just so much to go through. And there's like 900 cards in the base game, so you really wouldn't need an expansion. 4 movies, 900 cards in this base game, and then the expansion offered another 300 cards, so I have 900 cards in this box. But there's just so much to enjoy. It has some new mechanics different from Marvel Legendary, but in this game, the one card I want to talk to you about is called Inevitable. And that Inevitable card comes out on the board, and when it comes out on the board, you can't get rid of it. You know, in Legendary games, when those cards come out on the board, you can defeat them and get rid of them. But you can't do that with an Inevitable card. It's the last card in the villain deck to come out, and you can't defeat it. You can only push it back 1 space if you hit it with its max health. But when you do that, it adds 2 more health to it. So it gets stronger as you defeat it. And once it goes down space at a time, if it leaves the board, you've lost the game. This is a cooperative game. I failed to mention that. This is a cooperative game, and so you're trying to plan for that as you're building your decks and getting ready for that Inevitable card. You better be ready for that card, because you have to defeat the mastermind before that card leaves the board. Oh my gosh, so much to enjoy about this. It is tense. I love that. It's so tense, this game. And the way you get a neoprene mat in this. I'm not going to unroll it because I'll have, what the heck. But that's what it looks like, yeah. So yeah, on assignment, that's where the villain deck is going to feed into that on assignment. And there's Q branch. This is where you are going to put, this is the market of cards that you'll be purchasing. And you have some wound cards. Your escape villain deck stack goes right there. Hopefully you don't have too many of those. Then your scheme cards, mastermind cards, and your allies go right here. So pretty cool stuff. And when you are, I forget which one, mastermind, one of these decks, I think it's a scheme deck, puts cards in Q branch and it blocks them off and you can't purchase, or that adds 1 to the cost of every one of the cards in that particular space, so that when they come out, eventually they can fill up this whole Q branch, so that everything becomes uber expensive, and that's a drag. So you just gotta plan the best you can, be as efficient as you possibly can, and get that mastermind defeated as soon as you possibly can. And it's a tough game. Lauren, I really enjoy it. It's an outstanding Legendary system, and we love it so much, or I love it so much, and she plays it with me just because she loves me. But that's Legendary, a James Bond deck building game. All right, the last game I'm going to talk about today is a game we just added to our library this year. It's 2022. It's from a designer named James Fernhaber, and the game is called Tesseract. This is a puzzle game. It's cooperative, so Lori and I absolutely love to play it together. and it's a dice cooperative, dice manipulation game. It's so unique. I had to have it when I saw what I was dealing with. I saw it on YouTube, then I went to a convention. They had it in the library, and I just had to play it, and boy, was I glad I did. Because, again, yeah, here's a picture of what you're dealing with right there, that Tesseract cube. You know, that cube has appeared over the skies of Earth, and we have to dissect that thing and get all those dice onto this board right here, or all players lose the game. It's so much fun. Over here is an area where you're going to take cubes off of here and put in there, and if you have 3 of them in a row, you get a anomaly. Is that what it's called? I can't remember, but it's damage anyways. And if and it can kill you, so you only allowed so many. What is this thing? A breach. They're called breaches. So once you get 3, you get a breach, and you're allowed to have 6 breaches. The 7th breach, all players lose the game. You have card effects that'll help you out during the game over here. And I mean, everything about this game, all of these player aids that you see on this picture help you play this game. You don't even need to read the rule book. You lay this game out like this, you can play this game from what you're seeing right there. So much fun. I love this game. And this stand right here has a dial underneath it, you know, a round disc. And each disc that this Tesseract is sitting on is exponentially harder as the numbers go up. And I think you got 4 discs with double-sided, so you'd have 8 different levels of difficulty. We've beaten it on 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, we beat it on 1 and 2.
1 and 2, and we're going to work our way up those difficulty discs and see how well we do. But it's so much fun. I love it. It's beautiful to look at on the table. I won't take much out of here because there's not much to see other than what I just showed you there. But it's a lot of fun to play. It's challenging. And again, if you do not like puzzle games, you probably wouldn't love this. This is just a puzzle in itself, and it's so much fun because of that. That's why we like it, because we like puzzle games. And you can see there's the disc. It's got ball bearings that you're going to put that Tesseract cube on top of. And you have a deck of cards that are going to give you different levels of help. It has a sleeve. When you're building that Tesseract cube, you put all the dice in there, lift this sleeve off, and that's how you get it in a cube form. And then these are your player areas. This is your lab, and it tells you exactly what you can do on your turn. There's so much to love about this game. The publishing job is decent. I mean, I don't know how they would have went any greater over the top. The dice are cool because they could have just used regular D6s, but instead they put cool designs on. Oh, it's easier if I show you just like this. Yeah, these are that's a 6, a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It doesn't look like a regular D6. So I love that about this too. That was brilliant. I mean, when you do something different like that on top of this game being different, I mean, it is different, and I love that. When I saw this, and I first said to myself, that's just got to be a gimmick. I mean, how many different things can you do in board games? I'm always looking for something new. I didn't think this would be different at all, but it is different, and I enjoy it because of that. And I bought it because of that, and I was interested in it because of that. I wanted to see if it truly was different, and it was. And this is one of my favorite games to play, and that's 20 games that I showed you that I'm in love with in my library that just make me laugh and make me have the most fun when I'm playing them. I hope you enjoy these videos, and I will see you next time, Bones Collector. Okay, everybody, so that was it. That was 10 more games that I think are the most fun in my library. I enjoy all of those games that I showed you in this 2-part series. Hope you saw the first one, and if you didn't, go back and watch it. And I love every one of you. Thanks for watching The Bones Collector. Please like, please subscribe, and keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet because of those 20 games I showed you in this series. I love every one of those games. I hope you get a chance to play them. And I'll see you the next time on The Bones Collector. Bye-bye.